I am in Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, and I am going to the Upper Geyser Basin. Always found this illustration here very hilarious. And this is how the geysers and the mud pots and everything are formed. I think these are bison turds. These basins always look kind of apocalyptic because of all the dead trees mixed in with all the new living trees. I'm taking my first hike around the basin at dawn, which is one of the best times to do it because I was one of the only people out here, which is very rare during the summer. This first geyser is Castle Geyser. It is a pretty major one because the eruptions can reach 90 feet. It was named like many of these by the 1870 Washburn-Langford-Duane expedition, which camped in this area for quite a while. This is Shield Spring. The Upper Geyser Basin is the largest in the world and holds about 25% of the world's geysers alone. Old Faithful is right by the Upper Geyser Basin, however the reason it goes off so faithfully is probably because it's not connected to the basin. It's a standalone and its plumbing isn't connected to any of these other geysers or features. This is Daisy Geyser, a predictable one, but I didn't time it right. It is right by Comet Geyser, whose eruptions are influenced by the bigger Daisy Geyser. That's Splendid Geyser, infrequent, but its eruptions can reach up to 200 feet. Here's one of my favorite geysers in the park, the Grotto Geyser. To me it looks like the top of a troll's head with a long nose and two eye sockets, but I also agree it looks like a grotto. During the 1870 expedition, one of its members climbed into the grotto and then it started erupting, but he did get out alive. That is Spa Geyser. The Firehole River runs through several nearby geyser basins like Midway, so that's where a lot of the geothermal waters drain. This is Riverside Geyser, located right on the bank of the Firehole River. It is isolated and has its own plumbing system. It appears to be overflowing and getting ready for an eruption at some point. That is Spiteful Geyser. Alright, here's the most famous feature here. Morning Glory. But it's actually fading glory. It used to be much more colorful, but over the years, tons of people have been leaving their trash in there, so it's been clogging up the hole. So it's actually lost a lot of its color, and they do have to drain it and everything. I'm now walking over to Biscuit Basin. The trail connects over there. Here's a pretty interesting hot pool geyser thing. Definitely unique with the not sure what kind of rock that is above it. Kind of looks like the entrance to a cavern. Wow, look at Artemisia Geyser. Never seen this one before. This is huge. Wow. I'm sorry. It kind of looks like a sperm cell. Over yonder is Biscuit Basin. This basin got its name because of the biscuit-like center that lined the edge of Sapphire Geyser's crater, but the 1959 earthquake also ruined that geyser. This is Black Diamond Pool. This was the Sapphire Geyser, but it's now the Sapphire Pool because of the earthquake that also caused it to double in size. It has crystal clear waters like an oriental sapphire. Jewel Geyser is a relatively small one that is active at the moment. Water is filling up and overflowing, but it's not actually erupting. Shell Geyser has a weird gold center lining. Mustard Spring here is named for its mustard colored lining. And that is the Black Pearl Geyser. Now I'm walking back dangerously across the main highway to the Upper Geyser Basin. Now I'll be taking other parts of the labyrinth-like boardwalks of the Upper Geyser Basin, stopping by the Grotto Geyser again. It is much more active right now, but still not ready for eruption. The sun is reflecting the colors of morning glory much better now. This distinct color is caused by bacteria on the water. While there are a lot of colorful springs here at Yellowstone, this one is so well known because it is probably the most colorful small spring. Morning glory has actually erupted as a geyser a few times. This is the Giant Geyser. The cone itself is 12 feet high, and its eruptions do have a long duration. Unfortunately, it's only erupted a few times since 1955. This is the Beauty Pool, perhaps the largest spring in the basin. It has a diameter of 60 feet. This is Economic Geyser, which used to erupt regularly but has been dormant since the 1920s. That is Grand Geyser, the tallest geyser on Earth with predictable eruptions. It reaches up to 200 feet in bursts and erupts about every 7 to 15 hours. While I wasn't right there when it erupted, I could see it erupt from the other side of the basin a little later. That's Spasmodic Geyser. The historic Old Faithful Inn can be seen in the background. It is surrounded by this wonderland of geothermal features, and I have a separate video on the inn. Now I'm on Geyser Hill, which is an elevated part of the basin right by Old Faithful. Depression Geyser got its name because it's now depressed that it's not a geyser anymore, another victim of the dang 1959 earthquake. This is Beehive Geyser. There's lots of scathing hot runoff trickling down Geyser Hill into the fire hole. So that was the largest geyser basin in the world. Please check out my other videos on smaller but still really cool Yellowstone geyser basins and features, and thanks for watching.